Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm grateful that you're here to learn a little bit more about the gifts of gratitude, unlocking the joy of abundance. My name is Ronnie Anderson, and I will be sharing with you some information about the gifts of gratitude for the next 30 minutes. I'm again very grateful that you're here, that you've taken time out of your busy schedules to learn a little bit more about what gratitude can do for you and for your life. I'm especially grateful that you're here because, in all honesty, gratitude could change everything for you. And the cool thing about it is that it's free and it's easy. So hopefully, again, in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to convince you that you should start or continue a gratitude journal, practice gratitude in your life to bring a lot of abundance to your life. So I'm going to go through some 7 scientifically proven benefits of gratitude. As you can see down here in the corner, this information is from Psychology Today. I'm going to have each of them pop up individually. And I want you to think to yourself, would I like more of this in my life? So our first one here is, improves your physical health. Everybody wants more of that. Improves your psychological health, enhances empathy and reduces aggression. So not only in yourself, but we'll see here in a little bit, maybe in others around you. Get better sleep. I think all of us would like to get maybe longer and better sleep. Improves your self-esteem. So if you're someone that's maybe a little bit challenged with your self-esteem and have lower self-esteem or dealing with things like imposter syndrome or that, this is something that can help improve your self-esteem. Increase your mental health. So maybe if you're one of those individuals that has a hard time creating boundaries or saying no to individuals, that this would help you in that area as well. And then it opens the door to more relationships. And I'm a firm believer in that it's not all what you know, but it's also who you know. And so again, it will increase the number of individuals you know and the depth of your relationships in that. So again, 7 scientifically proven benefits of gratitude. I think even if we ended the webinar right now, which we're not going to, I hope that would even just show to you there's an abundance of benefits to having a gratitude, again, journal or a way that you give gratitude. Okay, so the really cool thing about this is that we have learned, or science has learned, that we can actually rewire our brain with gratitude. So if you want to think about, your past history and things that have happened in that, this is a way for you to rewire your brain. The other thing that you should keep in mind is that our brains were designed to protect us. Because of that, when we scan our environment, we're more inclined to see the negative. Our brains are designed to put more weight on the negative, and the reason for that is, again, to protect us. So this is a way that we can rewire that, so we're more inclined to see the positive. So I'm going to go around the circle with regards to your brain and gratitude. It says wires and fires new neural connections to the bliss center. So again, more happiness in that. Enhances dopamine and serotonin, the neurotransmitters responsible for happiness. Reduces fear and anxiety by regulating the stress hormone. So again, if you're dealing with anxiety or fear or anything like that, this is something that can help you. And fosters cognitive restructuring by invoking positive thinking. So again, just to go a little bit more into how it rewires your brain, by consciously practicing gratitude every day, we can help these neural pathways to strengthen themselves and ultimately create a permanent, grateful and positive nature within ourselves. So think of this as kind of like a muscle, if you will, that you need to work. So as you're continuing to do this, it's going to just get stronger and stronger and stronger. So think about this this way. It's not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude that brings us happiness. So this is one of those where you need to flip the script, if you will. And so if you're not in a place where you want to be right now, whether it be at work or in your personal life or that sort of thing, and you're thinking, I'll be happy when I get this, you need to think of this a little bit differently. And you need to think the fact that your happiness will come when you start showing gratitude for what you do have. And while I don't have the information in this particular PowerPoint, another resource for you to check into and look at is a webinar, or excuse me, a TEDx by Sean Akers, Anchor. And he talks about the advantages of happiness. 17 minutes, not long. TEDx, as you know, videos aren't that long, but it will just give you some more information about his research at Harvard University with regards to showing gratitude and the happiness coming from that. So what I would like for you to do right now is to get out a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, whatever it may be, and write down 3 things that you're grateful for today. 3 things, and it can be, it doesn't have to be grandiose type things. It could be the sun is shining. Looks like it's beautiful. We're gonna have a nice, 69-degree day here in central Iowa, for those of you here in central Iowa. So again, it could be little things like that. So I'm going to give you just a couple of moments to write down, and I prefer you write them down because there's a connection between writing things down and them being more solidified than if you're typing them in. There's that connection there. So again, I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. Okay, just another moment. Okay. So that's just an easy way to start doing a gratitude practice, just writing down 3 things that you're grateful for. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with the frequency illusion. When you go decide you want to get a red car, or you want to get a certain car, even if it's gray or black or whatever, that you start seeing them everywhere. I'm sure you've all experienced that. I think if you continue with a gratitude practice, that you're going to see more and more and more things that you can be grateful for. Again, you're starting to rewire your brain so that you're more inclined to see the positive around you versus the negative. I'd love to know if anyone does this and sees this and has that happen to them because they start some type of gratitude practice. Now, it says here 65% of workers say they did not receive a single word of praise or recognition in the past year. So I know not all of you are in formal leadership roles. However, I believe that we're all in a leadership role, if nothing else. Even if you're an individual contributor at your organization, you're still in a leadership role. So number 1, you're leading yourself. In my opinion, you are the CEO of your life. So Again, at least you're leading yourself. And we also know that sometimes in organizations, we have individuals that are not formal leaders, but informal leaders. And sometimes they have the greatest following. And we want those individuals to be um, in a positive light and not somebody that's negative. But anyway, part of the reason I'm sharing this with you is that I want you to start thinking about the type of feedback and praise in that you give to your employees if you're in a leadership role, or it can be your coworkers. Now, I do have a little bit of an issue or concern with this statistic. I'm going to guess that they got at least one word of praise or recognition in the past year. But again, because our brains put more weight on the negative, that's where they have focused, and any positive has not had as much weight put on it, and they don't remember it. So you probably heard you need to hear things 7 times before it sinks in, or you need to hear things multiple times. So if you are a manager and you're giving your employees some praise, recognition, or showing them some kind of gratitude, you probably need to do it more than you think you need to. And so that goes the same with your coworkers, or it could even be, your children or family members or that sort of thing. They need to hear it more than you probably think they need to hear it for it to really sink in, and for them to really say, yes, this person does appreciate me, does show me recognition, does show me praise. Okay. So what about gratitude in the workplace? How does that help an organization? You may be in a position where you could actually bring a gratitude practice to your organization. And if you can, I want to give you some tools and things and advantages of doing that. If not, you could do it within your department. Or again, even if you're an individual contributor, you could start using a gratitude practice and sharing with your coworkers. So I just want to go through these different things. Number one, there is increased engagement. Organizations that recognize their employees inspire real connections. There's higher productivity when employees feel like they're celebrated and valued, and they're more excited to come to work. Because don't we want all of us, ourselves and our employees, to be excited on Sunday night to come to work versus dreading it? Of course, I can't see you or that to know whether you've had an poll or ask you if you've had some retention issues or some turnover in the last couple of years. But one of the things that we want to do is have better retention of our high performers. So if you give them a positive recognition and have some kind of strategy around that, it's going to boost morale and spread loyalty. So then this is, again, another way that you could increase retention in your organization. You're going to have more satisfied customers when you give them, show appreciation towards them as well. And then you're going to have stronger connections, especially if you have employees that are in a remote situation. So let's say you've got somebody that's cross country or, in a different part of the state and that sort of thing. If you give them positive feedback, they're going to be more engaged, want to be there. And one of the ways that you can do that is show them gratitude. So what are some of the keys to gratitude in the workplace? So it's about the whole person. It's not just about who they are at work. So, if they're an accountant, it's not just the fact that they're an accountant, they're a whole person. So it's getting to know and being aware of their things, outside of work. So for example, if you know that they have a new puppy, asking about their new puppy, or if they know they've had a sick parent, it's asking about that sick parent. It's actually caring about the entire person. It's not a one size fits all. If you can tailor it to the person, that's best. I know that's not always possible. But if you're aware of things that that person likes, you could show gratitude in that way to them. And you also need to be careful if there's things they don't want. So, for example, I worked with someone that would have been just absolutely mortified if we would have pulled her up in front of everybody at a company meeting and told her how grateful we were for her and the work that she was doing. Now, don't get me wrong, she wanted praise. She just didn't want it publicly. So that's one of the things you need to be mindful of and do a little bit differently with individuals, depending on what their likes and dislikes are. And I realize, there's a balance there. You can't do everything for everybody. But if you are aware, try to tailor it to them and again, if you can, if the situation allows it. If you're really going to instill this into your organizations, we all know it starts at the top. So if you're really going to embed gratitude into your place of employment, it needs to start at the top. And it also must be a part of the culture. So if you're going to have a culture of gratitude, you need to have it be one of your core values. You'd want to educate all your employees on the value of gratitude, so that, not only all your employees, but people that are coming into the organization, you're doing onboarding, sharing with them the kind of culture you have here and that you like to just spread gratitude to everyone. You could provide free thank you cards in the office so that they could write notes. I'm sure all of you, and I've done this before in other seminars, I've asked, do you right now in your workplace have a thank you note from someone? And I can tell you that I do. I can't find it right now, but I have here on my desk somewhere where I've received thank you notes from people. They really mean a lot. Like, for example, if you're, not at your desk or that, and you're in an office, imagine if you went back to your desk and there was a thank you note sitting in the middle of your desk telling you that they were grateful for the work you've done on a particular project. It really goes a long ways. The other thing you could do is just give your employees gratitude journals, depending if you're a small enough organization, just provide them for them. You could also create a gratitude wall where you could, in a shared space where you could post things up on it that you're grateful for, whether it be something at work or again, the sunshine or whatever it may be. And then to make sure that you include those remote employees so that they feel like they're part of the team. So Joanna, who is helping me facilitate this meeting with EFR this morning, would be able to confirm this for you, that in my signature line on my emails, I have this quote from Brene Brown. It says, without exception, every person I interviewed who described living a joyful life or described themselves as a joyful activity, practiced gratitude, and attributed their joyfulness to their gratitude practice. So if you don't know, I'm sure many of you know who Brene Brown is, but if you don't, she is a researcher at the University of Houston. And she does a lot of research around vulnerability, and she has a TED Talk with regards to vulnerability. And again, as a researcher, she talks to a lot of people, and as you can say, she's saying everyone she talked to said they had a joyful life, had a gratitude practice. So again, this is a way that you can not only bring more happiness to your life, but even up level it to the point where you feel like you have a joyful life. So I want to share this with you just because she is a researcher and she's done this, but this is also something, I told you I have it as at the bottom of my signature line in my email, but if you were in an office, maybe this is something that you could put on, a wall if you wanted to, again, embed the practice of gratitude within your organization or your department, or, you could put it on a wall in your office or outside your cubicle or that sort of thing. So that's one quote you could potentially do that with. Another one is from Oprah Winfrey, excuse me. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you'll never have enough. So that goes back to that slide that we had earlier that said that happiness comes once you show your gratitude. It's not the other way around. Right. So we want to be thankful for what we have. And again, as I talked about the frequency illusion, I think that the more that you're thankful and the more grateful you are, the more things you will see that you have to be grateful for. Now, I want to show you some of the other ways that I use this. So sometimes I will, as speakers, sometimes people reach out to us to speak, and sometimes we apply for speaking opportunities. And, nobody gets 100% of the speaking engagements that they apply for. And sometimes you'll apply for something and you won't get any feedback on whether you got the job or not. You're like, well, I guess it's been, 6 weeks and I haven't heard anything. I must not have gotten that. So here's an example of when I did get some feedback. I said, thank you so much for letting me know. I don't always get a response back, so I greatly appreciate it. And I told them I'd attach my speaking catalog, and if you have something in the future, let me know. And then I connected with them in LinkedIn. As you can see, I received an email back from this. Thanks, Ronnie. I accepted the LinkedIn invite. It's great to connect, and thanks for sending the catalog. This is helpful as we map out our future events. So even though I got a no, even though it was a negative in a way, I tried to spin it in a positive and let them know that I truly did appreciate the fact that they let me know whether I got the speaking engagement. Okay. Also, identify strategies to cultivate gratitude even in the face of adversity, enabling you to find meaning, learn lessons, and find or move forward with strengths and positivity. So I look at my life, I no longer fail. Nelson Mandela said, I never fail. I either learn or I win. I either learn or I win. So even when you have things that don't go as you would like them to, try to look for the lessons and maybe the gratefulness in the situation and what you can learn from it and go forward. So now I want you to take a moment and think about somebody that you could write a gratitude note to and give them to them today. So whether you could write them an email, what's something that somebody has done for you in your life that you haven't told them that you're grateful for? I want you to take a moment to think about that. Okay. So hopefully you're going to take me up on that challenge. If you've thought of somebody that you could write a thank you note to, or if you started that thank you note, and do it today.